The scariest thing about a mirror isn't what you see, it's what it sees. Hi, my name is Alex. This is a story few people would ever believe. I live alone on the top floor of an old concrete building. I work in logistics and barely get any sleep. Sometimes I like buying old things. That's how an old mirror ended up in my home. I never thought it would bring me any trouble. I just saw it in an antique shop, and for some reason, it felt like it had been waiting for me. Inside, it smelled like old paper and machine oil. The mirror stood by the wall, taller than me. Its frame was black, carved, almost charred looking. The seller said the mirror was from the 70s. It has a good history, he said. The price was suspiciously low. I didn't ask any questions. I just bought it and took it home. I hung it in the hallway, facing the entrance door. Back then, I didn't realize I'd made a mistake. The first 2 days were calm, but one evening I came home late and saw in the mirror someone standing behind me. I turned sharply. Nobody. Looked back at the mirror, empty too. My reflection looked tired and strange. I told myself, "You're just tired." But the feeling didn't go away. A droplet of water appeared on the glass. It was sticky, like syrup. Sometimes the mirror gave off a smell of damp fur. Sometimes a faint, sour lemon scent. I leaned closer and heard breathing. The breathing was deep and not mine. And then the reflection started lagging. I moved, it moved a moment later. One day it tilted its head on its own, as if listening to something behind the glass. I froze. Back then I still believed everything was fine. But soon I saw more than just a lagging reflection. One day a silhouette appeared in the reflection. It wasn't a person, just a dark shape. It had 2 faint glowing points instead of eyes. I jumped back. A jar of spices fell off the shelf. The smell of red pepper hit my nose. I touched the mirror. It shifted slightly, as if soft, alive. I pretended nothing happened, even though everything inside me tightened with fear. And then the reflection started lagging. I moved, it moved a moment later. One day it tilted its head on its own, as if listening to something behind the glass. I froze. Back then I still believed everything was fine, but soon I saw more than just a lagging reflection. One day a silhouette appeared in the reflection. It wasn't a person, just a dark shape. It had 2 faint glowing points instead of eyes. I jumped back. A jar of spices fell off the shelf. The smell of red pepper hit my nose. I touched the mirror. It shifted slightly, as if soft, alive. I pretended nothing happened, even though everything inside me tightened with fear. Then the mirror began showing things I didn't own. A faded child's chair stood in the reflection. A pigeon sat on the windowsill. None of that existed in my reality. One day the reflection showed an open door, a door I had never opened. The mirror reflected not my world, but a world beside it, darker, shifted. I still tried to blame everything on tiredness, but the mirror became more and more active. On a hot day, I heard breathing through my headphones. Strains, damp, insistent. I took them off and saw words on the mirror. "Leave," written in warm mist. I wiped it. It vanished. At night, I woke up because someone was staring at me. The mirror reflected my face without emotion. My eyes looked empty, glassy. Another crack appeared in the corner. I don't remember falling asleep again. I decided to get rid of the mirror. I called movers. They carried it into the stairwell. They placed it facing the wall, and I accidentally glanced at it from the side. In the reflection of the stairs, I didn't see myself. I saw an old door that doesn't exist, and a child in a dusty dress, standing still, staring at the wall. I shut the mirror and stepped back. In that moment, I realized it wouldn't let me go. I grabbed a hammer, the only thing within reach. I struck the mirror with all my strength, but the hammer bounced off, as if caught from the inside. I lost balance and fell. A round dent formed on the glass, and inside it, my hand, but not mine, thin, veiny, trembling. It tapped on the glass 10 times. Each tap echoed in my chest. I realized he was already close. I started sleeping with the lights on and closing the hallway door every night. I covered the mirror with a cloth, but it wouldn't stay, as if something inside pushed it off. I avoided looking at the reflection. 3 weeks passed, things only got worse. I began hearing quiet taps at night, as if he was counting something on the other side. I tried not to react, but the fear grew heavier. One evening, I found a note on my table. It said, "Why don't you leave?" The handwriting was shaky, not mine. I called a friend and planned to stay at his place. But at the bus stop, I turned around and went back. On the entrance door was a wet handprint, as if someone had been waiting for me. I went up to my apartment. With every step, I heard faint ticking sounds. He was counting. 10, 11, 12. I opened the door. The mirror stood uncovered, clean, as if waiting. In the reflection, he sat, the scarred man. He smiled with a familiar, unsettling smile. He stretched out his hand. In it was my hammer. He showed his lip with the trace of dried blood. "You're not looking in the right place," he said. And I understood. The mirror didn't show the outside world. It showed what was inside me, things I had forgotten or buried. That man, he was me, but different. Me, the one who stayed on the other side. He nodded, as if he knew everything. And in that moment, I stopped being angry. Only exhaustion and a strange pity remained. I took a step closer to the mirror. The surface trembled, as if breathing. A chill went deep into my bones. I thought I could reach inside, but I stopped. Something held me back. The silence grew thick, like air before a storm. Something moved inside the mirror. A new crack spread along the corner of the glass, thin, like a spider web. Behind it, a dark depth. And again soft knocks. At first slow, then faster. I stood still, waiting. The mirror's surface turned pale, and letters appeared on it, very small, as if scratched from inside. "Remember." I felt something sink inside my chest. Memories came in fragments. Laughter in an empty house. The smell of damp soil. And my grandmother's voice. "Stay away from the window." Now I understand. The window wasn't a window. It was the mirror. It collected everything I tried to forget, and patiently waited for me to return. I don't know what will happen next, but I'm not alone anymore. He's on the other side, and he remembers everything about me. Sometimes objects are doors, and doors know how to wait.